So for draining your coolant, there is actually this port, which I just attached a hose, and then there's this little turn, and it doesn't turn much, maybe like 1 1/4 or something out, and you can drain all your coolant. That way you don't make a giant mess while doing this. You don't need to remove the fender liner for draining the coolant. You can access it right up underneath the front bumper, but that's it right there. And then you can attach a little hose to the plastic nipple. So just wanted to make this to help anybody try to install this up pipe on their farm truck. So what I ended up doing was soaked the 6 nuts, probably about, sprayed them a little bit for past like 3 days, let them sit. And then I got it up on the top 2. And then these 3, I got the furthest one on the left, I got it started. And then what I did was I took a very long pry bar and put it right in here. Let me switch hands. And I just put it on the very tip of the exhaust pipe and got it to pop right in there without having to remove any of the studs, anything like that. But obviously you have to take the wheel well off, you have to take the tire off. So without a doubt, the hardest part of this install is definitely this hot pipe. That's crazy. So what I did was I removed the upper radiator hose to get that out of the way. And then I slid both these boots onto the hot pipe as far as they could possibly go. So the bigger end on the hot side pipe. And then I worked it down in there. And then I got that end on there and slid it as far forward as it would go. And then I was able to get this end on and slid it down on the intercooler spot. But man, that was, what a wrestle that was. I'm just gonna go over everything that was done for the whole EGR removal. So as you can see, got the cold side intake pipe hooked up to the lower cold intake pipe. Down here, got clamps, boots. And then over here, we have the hot side intake pipe. Double clamped if it would focus. And you can see we got the 2 sensors hooked back up on this intake pipe. Those get reused. And then added the block offs. That light would work better. You can see got that plugged and zip tied out of the way. Same with the other 2 that you will have right there. Got them plugged, put some dielectric inside of them, zip tied out of the way of the belt. And you can see we got the coolant bypass installed down here. And also, let's get it for better. There's that plug too. It's been installed. And then back there, you don't reuse that heat shield. And we have the one nut and bolt that was supplied. And then you reuse the factory nuts for that exhaust up pipe from the exhaust manifold that goes back to the turbo housing. And other than that, that is the whole kit. Just got back from a test drive. Everything feels good, drives good. I'm gonna double check all my clamps for the boost clamps, make sure none of them are loose. And then probably in about a week or so, I'll go through and just check every bolt, make sure everything's still tight that I did from this kit. But other than that, I mean, pretty straightforward install.